I would have to say that I knew what I liked as early as 5 years old. I got caught by my dad with my friend. Because of the Navy, what I learned, the double life thing, I would never, ever, ever do that again for anybody. That's when I decided to tell her on the phone, I want you to come out more than anything, I love you, but this is my life and this is how I am. I want you to come out, please do, but that's how it's gonna be. And she didn't say a word for quite a while. And then she goes, if that's the way it is, then we won't be talking to you anymore until you become straight. And I go, okay, bye. They didn't speak to me for 10 years. Not any kind of contact at all. Before she hung up, she had said that I was dead to her.
It was interesting to work with some of my colleagues, though. I found it fascinating to see how people automatically equated my sexual identity having to do with, oh, it's all about sex. Why do you need to talk about your sex life? Why don't you shut up and go back to work and don't talk about it? And this was from a senior female officer that I thought would understand. And I looked at her and I said, excuse me, but you have all of these pictures on your desk of her husband, of her kids. I can't have that. I have a partner that I want to honor and respect. You know, this is who my primary relationship is with, and you're telling me that I can't have a picture of my partner on my desk. My counterparts could come in and talk about their kids, their husbands, what they did all weekend, or what they're gonna do all weekend. And I could never do that. I always had to watch what I said. You can't tell your doctor, you can't tell your chaplain, you can't tell anyone. Otherwise you can be discharged. I was a bit afraid. You know, we still had service members that were beaten to death with baseball bats. You know, you read stories about gays being thrown overboard. Is Big Brother watching? Will someone hear me? Will someone find out?
My job every day was to do all my responsibilities as a naval officer and to lie to people. If you're not living that life, it's like you don't understand. You can't understand what it's like because it's just such a foreign experience to go through. I just kept getting smaller and smaller, and I would dread going to meals because I felt like I hope that no one asks me anything, because if they were asking me something, if they were trying to make conversation with me, they were really putting me on the spot. It's hard when you've spent so much of your life trying to hide yourself. It's hard to let people in and to trust people. My 6 years in the Navy, the one skill that it basically taught me was how to put up a shield of armor and how to not let people in.
In the dust in my back window, they had wrote cock-sucking dyke. I just wiped it off and just shook uncontrollably. I'm like, what do I do about this? There's nothing I can do. It felt like a hate crime had been committed against me. So just in the course of a normal work day, they ask you what did you do over the weekend? Who did you go, who'd you do it with? What'd you go do? If you don't open up, they think you're weird because they're telling you about their lives. They want to know. You feel very alone. Absolutely. I'm a civilian now, and I believe I am in a working environment now where there is some discrimination, but I handle it. If it comes up, if it's in my face, I deal with it. If somebody makes a disparaging comment about gays, I say something. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm a lesbian too. I just put it out there. I don't want any misconceptions. Trying to live my life courageously to kind of make up for those cowardly acts that I've seen before or what I feel like I've committed before in the past.